Hi, Savita. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. Thanks a lot for joining this live. It's my absolute pleasure to have you.
Likewise.
Yeah. So, guys, Sangeeta is a very good dear friend of mine. She is a chartered accountant by profession, a high performance business coach, and she is an author of three finance books. And she has also received several awards in the same category. So, Sangeeta, if I have missed out something, would you like to add something from your end as well? Let the audience know what you've been doing and, your journey so far.
Sure. So I like to call myself the gain enabler. Simply
Wow.
because, yeah, my mission is to educate, empower, and elevate to contribute to your gains. So that's what I really want to do. So, like you said, I'm a chartered accountant and management accountant, and I have about 25 years of experience in corporate and senior leadership positions. So now I'm a high performance business coach, best selling author, and a professional speaker working to sculpt your success. So that's what,
Wow, that's
yeah.
amazing. So, guys, if you're looking for any success gyan or any success gun mantra, please, DM Sangeeta, and you can reach out to her. She will let you all know about her website and everything later on. Please stick on to the session, guys. So, well, today's session is for a purpose, and everyone's here. So, let's get started, guys. So, in the middle of difficulty lies opportunities. This is a great saying by one of the richest men in the world. So, most of the countries facing the difficulty of an enforced lockdown due to COVID 19. However, does this also give us an opportunity to determine ways to to manage our finances better? What do you have to say?
Yes. So absolutely right. It's very, very important to manage your finances irrespective of a crisis or not. So the good thing about this crisis is I think it's bringing about a lot of behavioral changes. So that way, I think from a financial discipline point of view, I think it's to be welcomed undoubtedly. But before we even get into this, if you look at any business, how big or small or whichever vertical you're in, Shweta, can you tell me why does a business exist?
Because of a purpose. Certainly
Yeah,
solving a
but
problem and a purpose.
absolutely. And what is driving an entrepreneur or a business owner to solve the problem or the purpose? What do you think is behind that?
It's your energy or your passion.
No, okay. What's driving your passion? See, because if you're passionate, you could might as well be running a charity, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, what is it? Why does a business exist?
Money. They need money to buy
Absolutely,
things.
absolutely, absolutely. So, how big or small, or whatever is your passion, whatever value you're adding, whatever problem you're solving, irrespective of that, the main thing is money. I mean, a business exists to make money. Unless, of course, you're in
Absolutely.
charity or you want to do something, then it's a totally different thing. But if you say you're in business, you have to understand that you need to make money. That's the core existence of any business, right? So finance, I think, is the backbone of any
Any
any business,
business.
or even and any individual, I would say, because we're all working, we're giving our heart and soul, working so hard. Why is it? To make money, to meet our various requirements that we may have. So in that context, and considering the current scenario, I want to share three simple tips that you can follow in your individual life or in your business. So first, I say, like, cash is king. Whether you're in business or in your personal life, you need to have cash. Only then you can go and indulge and do what you want, right? So cash is like oxygen. You can't be without oxygen. So you have to treat cash similarly. So how does one, get control of cash? So I would say, remember cash as an acronym, right? So C stands for collect on time. So if you're running a business, ensure that you're collecting all your dues on time. If
Okay.
you're an individual, supposing you've lent money to somebody, or you need to be paid, ensure that that happens on time. So C is to collect on time. A stands for anticipate. anticipate your money in and money out. So the thing that you'll have to realize now, especially in times of crisis, is the fact that you can't control your money coming in. So only what you can control is your cash out, right? So you need
Okay.
to anticipate, you need to anticipate your money coming in and your money going out. S is systematically monitoring. You need to monitor how much money is coming, how much money is going, so that you know what is what. And H is the habit of creating reserves. So only when you have reserves, especially times of crisis like this, that's when the cash really comes in handy. So if you've been in this habit and you've had sufficient reserves, then any sort of crisis, you're like fairly well guarded, right? So that is the important thing. So let me repeat: C is to collect on time, A is to anticipate your cash in and cash out, S is systematically monitor, and H is the habit of reserves.
So well explained, and just a small word that we have to remember is cash, and solve the problem of cash, and you're sorted with your finance. So well, and so such a small definition to remember, especially a person like me. I mean, it's really it's a very useful tip for me. I'm sure everyone who is watching here will also be, it'll be useful for them
Yeah.
also. So
Good.
my
So let me
next
give you the
question.
before that, I told you I have 3 tips. So this is
See,
one. So let
okay,
me give you
okay,
the second one as well. So how do you manage your cash right now is, especially in types of crisis, I would say, create 3 different buckets. So call it as highly essential, essential, and non-essential. So if you're able
all
to
right.
categorize your expenses into these 3 buckets, then it becomes easier for you. So that's the second tip. And the third tip, how much more can you take charge, or how would you prioritize your cash outflow? Because like I said, you cannot control your cash in, but all you can control is your cash out, right? So on what basis do you prioritize? So the first thing is, of course, your living expenses. So whatever is required for your living expenses, ensure that you have sufficient money for them. The second is all your legal expenses, like your income tax, your GST, all your compliance stuff. So put it aside for that. This mantra you can use for your business as well as your personal life also. So first is your living expenses. If it's business, it's operational expenses. Second is all your legal expenses. Then third is to create reserves. So when I say reserves, it can be like liquid fund or fixed deposits, wherever, like, so that the liquidity quotient is high. There's an emergency and you can readily get the cash. The fourth is for your investments, whatever investments that you want to put it in. And then the balance is your general expenses, wherever you want to go and indulge yourself and however you want to spend it. So those are the 5 ways in which you prioritize your cash outflow. So those are the 3 tips that I wanted to share with everybody today.
That's so nice, so well explained, and I'm sure it's going to help everyone out there. So my second question is, should one purchase stocks, since you said prioritize, and then somebody's got excess money, so should they put it in stock market and wait for it for because if yes, then why should one invest in stock
Right.
markets at this point of
Right.
time?
Sure. So the first thing I would say is, when you invest, you need to create a good balanced portfolio. That's very important. So, they say don't put all your eggs in one basket, right? So similarly, is the same thing with your investments. See, while stock market is a great place to invest, you need to know the tricks of the trade. So
Absolutely.
if you have a good control of that, great. Otherwise, get hold of experts who are there, and then, so that you make the right financial choices. So that's very important. Uh, when you have to diversify, so, put it across everything, like, probably a little bit in gold, little bit in real estate, little bit in stocks, little bit in mutual funds, whatever you're comfortable with. But the important aspect is to diversify. So I wouldn't recommend you going in only for the stock market. You definitely need to have
Okay.
stock market is something that you need to look at in a long-term basis. But then again, where you need to draw the line of caution is, supposing about 12 years ago, 2009, if you had invested in Satyam, right?
Hmm.
What would have happened, right? So because Satyam at
Yeah.
that point in time, before the debacle happened, it was considered to be a very good stock to invest in. But
Okay.
then it just went for whatever reason. So you never know. So one thing you need to kind of acknowledge to yourself is there is a lot of uncertainty in everything, right? So
Hmm.
you need to be aware of that, and that's exactly why the reason I say that you need to diversify your portfolio, your finance portfolio, your investments is all in different buckets.
Okay, so basically, it's about how you manage your portfolio, your investment portfolio. Even at this time, you should look into that, and not do not hurry and rush. And since the stocks are low priced, we should start investing in it. We should have a balanced
Yes,
balance portfolio in that way. So great
absolutely
take
right.
on that as well. Here, somebody had asked to repeat cash. Ma'am, for your knowledge, I would like to say that this series will go up on the IGTV immediately after the live, so you can see what that cash was. Let's take it ahead, let's move forward. And is it a good time to invest in a new online business as well? A lot of even I have started my online journey from here onwards. I have also invested. So is it a good time? Should I invest more in it and try to grow it up to another level? Should I do that
Right.
as well?
Right. So what I would want to say is, the best way of any investment is to invest in yourself, because that's when you get the maximum returns. So how well are
Absolutely.
you? Yeah. Upskilling yourself is something important. So that is when you are like the student. Now, if you were to look at it as a business, as an entrepreneur, irrespective of online or not, end of the day, what really matters is the kind of value that you're adding. If whatever your offerings are, be it a product or a service, if it is something valuable, that's what customers want. That's what will last you longer, right? So I think right now, yes, everything has been going online, which is a great way to do any business. But again, end of the day, it boils down to the fact that how much value are you adding. So that is
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I get that. So it's just that, I shouldn't be selling extremely fancy things which might not be, it should be essential, because people are looking at essential and non-essential, like how you explained in the beginning, it's a non-essential, essential and leisure activities. So
Yes.
create, so which bucket am I targeting of the audience? So that should be the ultimate understanding of the business is what I get from there.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. Yeah.
great on that. The next question that I have is, there are a lot of moratoriums given by the banks, RBI, and the government, and a lot of this thing going on. Should we avail it?
So the main thing that you have to understand about the moratorium is it comes with a cost. So if
Okay,
you have sufficient cash reserves, and if you have a little amount of excess cash, just go ahead and utilize it, because the moratorium, while it is good, you may be getting it right now, but remember that you have to repay it with the cost of interest. So it depends
okay,
on your current financial situation and the real need. I mean, whether you want to go in for a new loan or want to avail the moratorium, just see, take a pause and see, is there a way that you can bypass without going for it? Because, or you must be mentally prepared, and you must be able to have the extra cash to repay the moratorium with the interest. So that is it.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. That I get it. Okay, so you mean to say when you have an extra cash, that's when you are saying that go for the moratorium, so that because
No.
ultimately you have to pay.
Yes. So if you have extra cash, use it. Don't go for the moratorium. It's
Okay,
the other.
okay,
Yeah. Because
oh,
you're
oh,
paying extra, right? Yeah. Yeah.
okay. So I get that. Um, what are the cost cutting measures that we adopt now, which may become a habit even post lockdown? There are some people are, investing, indulging more on, Netflixes and, watching a lot of movies online rather than going to the cinema, because when you go out to cinema theaters, it adds on to your
Yes.
eating and the tickets and, going and coming costs. So all that. So are these going to become a habit of people, or once everything is out, then people are automatically going to go to the cinema theaters? What is your take on that?
Right. So I think you need to understand the psychology of how the human mind works, right? So any financial decision, while it may seem to be like a proper thought out analytical decision, what actually happens is your financial decisions are driven by your emotions and your feelings, right?
Okay,
So end of the day, that is what is actually playing out. So you need to be aware of it, and you need to be consciously taking such decisions. So yes, you
okay,
see something, you like it, you want to pick it up, you like it, but then the cash actually tends to take a back seat. So the idea is, yes, you have to acknowledge to yourself, take a moment and then say, yes, do I need it? Like, is this the right time to buy? So here again, let me give you an acronym. The acronym here
Okay.
is TAB. You say keep a tab on your finance, right? So TAB, tab. So T is the time. Is this the right time for me to buy anything, be it an investment, be it like as the going to a mall, the movies, like Netflix, whatever that you said, is this the right time for it? So T stands for the time. A stands for, is it affordable? Do I have sufficient cash? Like is this a good way for me to be spending my cash? And B is the benefit. What is the benefit I'm getting by spending on this? So if you were to just
Okay.
take a moment, pause and ask yourself how you're keeping tab on your finances, that is, let me repeat, the time, is it the right time? Is it affordable? And what is the benefit that am I getting? Then
Okay.
you're able to, answer yourself satisfactorily, then I think you should just go ahead with it. So whether irrespective of lockdown or not, crisis or not, I think this could be a good way to for you to actually keep tab on your financial condition.
Okay, superb. That is a great take. So we have cash, we have tab. So these are the two takeaways till now, guys. If everyone's watching, so let's move on to the next one. Should money management be taught in schools and colleges to young adults? Because most of the expenses on leisure, we are taught how to manage our finances, our assets, and blah blah. But we are never taught in schools and colleges how to manage our finances. How to go to the bank. A practical knowledge is never given. So, what do you think they should be taught in schools? And from
Undoubtedly.
which when is that system going to change? Like, we definitely need to change that.
Yes, yes. No, I mean, I think it's more to do with our culture, especially we think like finance, bachon ke liye nahi hai, you kids, you're too young, you don't understand, or, it's something too personal, so you don't want to discuss it openly. So I think that mindset needs to be changed first. Uh, but I think nowadays a lot of both parents as well as the educational institutions are slowly opening up, especially with a lot of new startups and entrepreneurs coming up. I think this mindset is slowly shifting. Like for example,
Superb.
I think last summer, in fact, I conducted a finance workshop for school kids, right? So
Wow.
I made it lively, with a lot of games and a lot of interaction. So that's when the kids would relate to you. Otherwise, they just think finance is something boring and whatever. So when you're able to relate to them and explain it to their level and really simplify it, I think the children are also receptive to it. So definitely,
Wow.
yes, this mindset change is required. Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, we are, once the child is out of the college and the child goes into, so join a job or something, the first
Right.
salary they get, they only know how to
Yes.
spend on the credit card. Should they also curb on their, expenses on credit card? So, can you just explain how credit card is actually, when we should actually use the credit card and when we should not actually use the credit card? There's a huge
Right.
difference. The
Correct.
minute yeah. So, that part is also great.
So it's very easy. If you're the kind who's not able to really control your finance, and if you think you're a spendthrift, just don't get yourself a credit card. Very simple.
Okay,
Because with the credit card, you're always tempted to swipe. Even if you don't have the money right now,
absolutely.
you're like, I'll pay it at a later date, and you're forever ready to swipe. But if you think you have better control on it, then yes, get yourself a card. And but I would also recommend that you track your expenses, or have a set budget for your expense, so that you're not going beyond your limits and stuff like that. Because 1 month you miss paying your credit card bills for whatever reasons, then the interest cost is like boom, it's too high. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, yes,
Okay, coming to your personal stories and your journey so far, why did you choose to become a chartered accountant? I ask this question to everyone who comes on live with me. So, why did you
right.
choose to become? And was it something that you really wanted to do, like become a business coach and chartered accountant? Was it something really, or what inspired you to do so?
Right, right. So pretty simple. My dad wanted me to be a doctor because my granddad was a very famous doctor in where he was. So he
Okay.
was very keen that I do medicine. But then I didn't have the heart to go through all the rigmarole, whatever. So I told him, no, I'm going to do CA. And so that's when I took the plunge to do my CA. So I was pretty keen to do it. So that, yes. And I think, like I said, finance is the backbone for any industry. So I said, it's never
Absolutely.
going to go out of fashion if I can, use it. Yeah. So I said, yeah, let me definitely go ahead.
Okay. What do you do to keep yourself calm during this lockdown? Are you still working, or you're just
Yeah.
chilling, or what is the scene in this lockdown? How have you been spending your? It's almost like 83 days. What did you do
Yeah.
to keep yourself calm as well?
Right. So I have been working from home. Uh, and what really has kept me going during these days is I'm into art of living, which has, simple
Absolutely.
breathing exercises and meditation. And that has really helped me tremendously, really well. And like every day, there are 2 online meditation sessions, one at 12 noon and another one at 7:30 in the evening. So every day I ensure I do that. And that's what
Okay.
keeps me going, keeps me level headed despite all the tensions around me.
So, what is Guruji saying about how this thing is going to end and how soon it's going to end and how is the world going to evolve after this? Is there any insights
I
from him?
No, I don't think he has commented anything on that. So what he always says is, irrespective of this, that this too shall pass. So it's
Okay.
it's a matter of time. Yeah. So I'm sure it will, but just that right now none of us know when. But I'm sure a much better and brighter future awaits us.
Super. That's a great positive note. Okay, so there is a myth, or I don't know, everyone says that men are with numbers, good with numbers, and women are good with colors. So, what do you say? How did you, you must have had your critics as well, giving you all critic insights that why is a person doing, number job or something like that. So, how did you manage the ladder that you are at?
Right. So the first thing is, I think there are exceptions to any and every rule, right? So while normally it's construed that men are good with numbers and women are good with colors, there are the opposite ways as well. So in fact, what I would say is, women, if you look, I think women are so good. Like the financial management skills is excellent with women. The negotiation skills are excellent. I mean, I think it just comes kind of naturally to any woman. Look at any woman, the way she manages her household, right?
As
So efficient within the budget. Like, I think that's a great skill. Same way you go shopping, even be it your sabzi wala or like, even a designer boutique, you're always like negotiating, get me like the best deal, iske saath, what else will I get, stuff like that. So I think women, we are just wired like that. It just comes so naturally to us. So probably it's more in the mind that, you think that, oh, I don't know numbers or I'm not good at it. It's more to do with the belief system. That's what I'd like to say here.
So, but did you face any problems, in the corporate world when women are not to be taken at such a high level? You've been the CFO of the, uh, and you're still at a very high level. You're an executive director of a big
Right.
company, so
Right.
you must have had your critics, right? And tough competition that why a man should be there. A lot of things come in. So, did you also face any of them?
Right. Absolutely. So here, what I would say is, I never consider gender, because I think I've been very blessed, because during my growing up years, my parents never said anything to do with gender. In the sense
Okay.
like, you're capable to do it or you're not capable to do it. It has nothing to do with gender. It is your
Okay.
individual personality, right? And I think what has also been a blessing is, they say ignorance is bliss. So when
Okay.
I started my corporate career and other things, as a working professional, all this concept about Women's Day, having equal opportunities for women and all that, these concepts didn't exist, right? So
Yeah.
to me, it was more like, the way I was brought up, like, am I capable of doing this? Can I add value? Can I contribute to the growth, whatever? So it was, my outlook has always been like that. And I think all these things kind of grew in the last few years. By then I had already reached senior positions. So I think that way ignorance has been bliss for me. So end of the day, I think it just matters on what you're going to deliver. How much value
Okay.
are you adding? How you're contributing to the growth of the organization? I think that is the thing. So gender and everything, I would personally like to put it aside.
Okay. So there is a question for us. I mean, for you, is it
Yeah.
advisable to promote a MSME in this current scenario, considering the benefits given to MSME by the government? Is it
Right.
the advisable? Yeah. Can you read
Right.
the question?
I'm not able to see too many of the chats because it's always
Comment.
scrolling. So I would just go by what you're asking me. So the good thing is definitely there are so many good schemes the government is offering and all that. So that way, yes. But end of the day, it matters on what sort of business you are in. Like, what is it that you're planning to deliver to your customers? Like simple things like, let's say you're in the business of hand sanitizer or face masks, for
Okay.
example. During this time, there is a lot of demand. It is like the essential stuff that we spoke about in the beginning. So is it really
Exactly.
essential or what? Or supposing it is not such an essential item, it depends on the way how you're packaging it and offering to your clients. Because I mean,
Absolutely.
there is still a lot of business happening as well, right? So it depends on how exactly you're presenting it to your customer.
Okay. So it's about if it is an essential item, you should go ahead and try to consider
Essential,
whatever
yes,
the
just go ahead blindly. But even if it
yeah.
is not something that's essential, you will have to, customize it and package it right and deliver it to your customer the way your customer wants.
Okay. Super. Okay. What inspired you to write so many books? You've written almost 3 books. So,
Yeah,
and when you wrote so many books, what did people tell you at your, home? What was their reaction on it?
right. So I'm an accidental author. I had no plans to write a book.
That we've
So it was
discussed earlier also once. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
So I was on a family vacation to Cambodia, and something inspired there, and so that's when I wrote my first book after a lot of hesitation. It's called A
Okay.
Glance of the Unknown, and
Okay.
so when I wrote that, I think after about few months, I was awarded as one of the 100 inspiring authors of India. So that like really felt good. And when I
Okay.
told people that I had written this book, so they were like, "Where's the finance book?" So I wrote the second book. It's called What's the Finance? So and
Okay.
that's a national bestseller.
Wow.
And both are available. Yeah, both are available on Amazon, Flipkart, and all the channels. Both the hard and the soft versions are available.
Okay.
The third book is a free audio book. It's an audio book. It's called The Power of High Performance Coaching. So you
Okay.
just go to Audible and then say Sangeeta Sumesh, it will throw up. So it's about for half an hour. It's an audio book. It's a free download. So anybody
Okay.
can feel free to hear to that.
So that is very nice. I shall do that as well. That's a great thing. What is it called? Can you just repeat once again the book name?
The first book is called Glance at the Unknown. That's a spiritual thriller.
Okay.
The second
And
is called
it's
What the Finance.
finance.
Yeah,
Okay.
What the Finance. And the third is called The Power of High Performance Coaching.
Okay. The power of high performance coaching. Okay. Super.
Yeah.
So, moving on to the next one. Share about some of your awards and your family's reaction on them to them. What was their reaction when you got award after award? How many? I mean, there are so many awards, right?
Yeah, of course, they are excited, especially my children. They were like really kicked about it, my daughter especially. So
Okay.
I think the awards I got are like the leading woman CFO in India, and then most influential women in finance, and the 100 inspiring authors, outstanding professional by Fiki, and yeah, a few others. Yeah.
So what did they were excited and they must be all jumping around that. So
Yes,
when
yes,
when
yes.
was the first award that you got? Like recently or
Um,
sometime back?
Oh, it's been, I think, I've been blessed. I think from 2011, I've been getting awards, something or the other. So, yeah.
Wow. Then you must be having a separate section in your house where
Yes,
all the awards like
that's right.
all
Yeah.
the people to be there. So there is one more blogger who has joined in. Her name is Multitasking Marwari, and she's saying hi to both of us. Hi, hi Gunjan. How have you been? Thanks for joining in. So tell us more about high performance coach. Is it basically on your personal performance or corporate performance that you train? And what do we learn in high
Right.
performance coach. This
Right.
concept of business coach has come in, recently. So what exactly do people do in this? And is it really important to, take it,
Right. Right.
do it, something like that?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah. So, as a high performance coach, anybody, individual or the business who wants to get to their next level, whichever level
Okay.
you are in, I think there's always scope for improvement and, getting to the next level. That's exactly what I do. So, I help you overcome your challenges, find the right solutions, partner with you, and, make you think creatively so that your personal and professional potential is maximized. So that's
Okay.
the role that a coach plays. And so I, apart from doing this, so I say I offer a 3-in-1 package. So one is I educate people, especially on finance and other related things like high performance and stuff like that. Then I empower you as a coach, and then I elevate by being an advisor. So those are the three things people get by working with me.
Okay.
So
So
anybody
super.
who
So
wants to grow up, grow in their performance, and reach their maximum potential, then I'm the good person.
okay. So have you even partnered with Success Gyan or anybody to give out?
No, right
No.
now, no, I haven't. I have been doing it
It's
more to my individual self right now. Yeah.
okay. So if anybody wants to reach out to you, how do we get connected? Do you have a website or anything?
Yes. Yes. My
Yeah.
website is very easy to remember. It's sss.coach. The Sangeeta
Okay.
Shankan Sumesh. So sss.coach. But apart from that, of course, I'm there on all the social media. I have my YouTube channel where I keep sharing all these finance stuff. My YouTube channel is Sang Shah Sum. Like, there's my Insta handle
The
is also Sang Shah
Instagram.
Sum. Yes, which is an abbreviation of my name. And of course, my Facebook page is Sangeeta Shankaran Sumesh. And I'm very active on LinkedIn as well. I'm Sangeeta
Yeah.
Sumesh on LinkedIn as well. Yeah. Yeah.
So
So anybody
what
can
is
reach out.
how is social media help? Since we are on social media platform, let's come to this. During lockdown period, I think everyone's there on social media. Digitally, they are performing and giving their best out of there, including me, as you can see. But
Yes.
what benefit have you received? Have you got majorly your clients from digital media or something like that, or it's been your personal corporate clients?
Right. It's been a mix of both, I would say, uh, because I mean, people know me from my network as well. Whoever has anything, they'll always reach out to me. And apart from that, I think LinkedIn for me works very well because it's more the business coaching aspect that I bring in. So a lot of business happens there. So I'm pretty active on LinkedIn. Insta and Facebook, yes, to an extent. YouTube, and again, I started posting all my finance mantras. Every week, I post a finance mantra. So that has been going well, and probably I'll be featuring this video as well into it. So whatever these sort of discussions, whatever is useful for people, I keep sharing, and I don't restrict it just to finance my YouTube. So
Okay,
I like
super.
to share knowledge because I think I want you to gain, apart from financial gains, I say, I'm here as a gain enabler to give you non-financial gains as well, which is through knowledge, through high performance and stuff like that. So I'm always wanting to give knowledge in any form.
Wow, that's so nice. So let's get started with another next series, next session that I have planned, and it is a more fun thing that I planned. It's a very impromptu thing. It's a rapid fire.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I don't have an hamper to send it out to you like how Karan Johar does it on his coffee with Karan. But yeah, sure. But I'm sure we'll have little fun from there. I'm sure.
Sure. Sure
So,
thing.
what is Sangeeta? A better mother or a better cook?
Definitely a better mother. I mean, I like to cook, but I don't cook too often. So yeah, but of course in
Thanks
this
for being
lockdown
so
I have been,
honest.
but yeah.
Great to be honest like this. Okay,
Yes.
coming to the next one. A better chartered accountant or a better business coach? What is Sangeeta?
I don't look at that role differently because both end of the day boils down to the financial matters. So to me, both are in a
Okay.
way the same. The chartered accountant has been my foundation, and I think as a business coach, I have grown keeping that as a foundation. So to me, it's like one single thing.
Okay, super. So, what colors do you wear in clothes? Bright or subtle? Usually, what colors do you
Bright,
like?
bright.
Absolutely.
I love bright colors.
Any any tips? Why do you wear it? Just because of your choice, or is it because it helps you perform better, or how is it? It
No, I
adds
just think it's a
value to
lot
your
more lively.
personality.
Uh, For a
Okay.
simple reason, I think it's a lot more lively. So I'm a very visual person. I'm visually oriented. So I like to see like, bright things all around me. So I think it also kind of cheers me up. So I prefer bright colors. Yeah.
I think you have a very beautiful smile, and whenever I see you, you're always smiling and happy and things like that. So it gives a very positive uh, vibe whenever I'm, talking to you over a phone or chatting, or we've met how many number of times. I think wherever I have been, either you've been getting awards there, or you've been invited as a chief guest there, or probably very highly, and I'm like, hi Sangeeta, and you're like sitting over there like a chief guest. I'm like, okay, yeah. It has always been a
Thank
pleasure
you.
to see you in those type of places, at such respectful places. It's been great to be associated to, like that.
Thank
And
you. Thank
moving on to the next thing, next question on the rapid fire: are you a movie buff or an avid reader?
I was a movie buff and now trying to be an avid reader.
Okay, so what kind of movies do you watch? If you have to choose between Amitabh Bachchan and Rajnikant, what would you choose?
I like both of them, but
Okay.
maybe a wee bit more partial to Rajnikant because I'm from Chennai. So
Okay, so you've been born and brought up from Chennai, is it?
yes, yes. But for about 8 years, I was living in Southern Africa.
Oh
So
my God.
yeah, yeah. But otherwise, based in Chennai, I love traveling. So I travel a
Okay.
lot. Of course, now I don't know when these conditions are going to ease, but yeah, I love traveling.
Yeah. So your job is also something like that, no? You keep traveling. Whenever I try to reach out to you, no, not today. I'm traveling. I'm here and there in the flight. So it's been like that. So, Sangeeta, any tips or anything that you have? A larger audience of mine is a lot of women entrepreneurs, okay, and they are basically into selling goods and products. So, how any suggestion or tips for them to manage the situation? This is just a temporary situation if we take it lightly and be on a positive note. So, any tips on that? How to handle it?
So as I said, right now during the times of crisis, cash is the what is most important. So put all your focus on your cash so that
On cash.
you're not splurging, anything extra. So right now, I think it's at the stage where you're able to sustain. You shouldn't be getting into losses. You may not be in a position to make too much of profit at this point in time. That's fine as long as you're kind of breaking even. I think that's still pretty good in the current situation. So I'm sure things will get better. So you'll have to find out how you can give to your customer the way your customer requires. So you must be able to customize, be flexible on it, do a lot of marketing. So like I said, invest in yourself, see how you can learn, think of newer sort of innovations that can happen, or probably even look at collaborations right now, because simple things like sharing an office space or sharing resources, like as an employee, maybe like you can employ the same person who's into digital media, digital marketing, stuff like that. See what sort of newer things that you can do. So utilize this period for that more efficiently, I would say. And of course, any challenges, you can always reach out to coaches like me. We are always ready to help and bail you out of the situation. So always ready to work with such people.
Okay, that's super. So when it comes to fun, what do you do? Family time, friends time, or just be me time? What is fun according to you? I give you three
Fun, I
options.
think, is whatever I do. So it depends on my friend, because there are times when I really need me time. So there are times the children put their foot down and then they want the family time. So obviously then it's family time, and of course I also like to chill out with friends. So it's a mixed bag, I would say.
Okay, super. So it's like everything should be there in the right proportion.
Yes,
So
yes, yeah. You can't live
what are
without.
your goals?
Sorry, what are
What are
my?
what are your next goals? Like, what are we going to see Sangeeta doing next?
Right.
You know?
So yeah, as I said, my mission is to educate, empower, and elevate as many people as possible. So I want to really create that sort of impact and add value to as many lives as possible. So that is my biggest mission. I think that's my purpose, my long-term vision that I'm looking at. But right now, I have just authored my next book. That's
Oh,
on high
wow.
performance. Yeah, yeah. It's a self-help book. So it's just gone to the editors. They're working on it. So hopefully another month or two, I hope that book comes out.
Okay. So great chatting with you, Sangeeta. Thanks a lot for being here. And I'm sure people who have logged in and logged out. So I'm sure this will go on IGTV now, and they can view and see it late for whatever view. Thanks a lot. It was an absolute pleasure to have you today, and I hope people will gain some benefit out of it. Thanks a lot, Sangeeta.
Pleasure.
Yes.
Pleasure. See you.
Bye.
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 So that was Sangeeta, Shankar, and Sumesh today talking on how to enable gain. So I hope you all enjoyed it. Thanks a lot for joining in.